Very good morning, dear student. In today's class, we are going to discuss about some of the major issues of supply chain management. Let's go to the session. Supply chain managers face issues on a daily basis and almost require direct attention and quick response. If they are not giving a quick response, then they have to face a great damage. Okay, so their problems can vary in severity and complexity based on the different situation. With such importance placed on stable and reliable supply chain today, these issues are now top of mind. After all, supply chain lie at the core of successful business operation, and all these issues will undoubtedly impact the business bottom line. So what do you mean by supply chain management actually? Supply chain management is a flow of goods and services between organization and consumer from point of origin to the point of consumption. Okay, how the good is moving from one place to another place. Okay, we can simply call it as the movement of goods from one place to another place. Okay, so it also includes movement and storage of raw material, working process, inventory, and finished good. Supply chain management often involves systems and engineering, as well as logistics, procurement, and operation management and sales. So now let's discuss about some of the biggest challenges of supply chain management and how as a data analyst you can efficiently manage those challenges. The first one is managing the customer expectation. So managing the customer expectation is the first challenge that any supply chain manager may face. Okay, so supply chain managers are usually a service provider. They provide service for indirect procurement request, project and manufacture request, and outside customer request. Consequently, the supply chain managers need to deploy efficient workflow to make sure requests are fulfilled on time every time. So when efficiency is business priority number one, supply chain manager can begin to deliver on customer expectation. For example, you can receive information in fast and accurate manner and see through the timely fulfillment of resourcing, planning, and shipping. To correctly manage this kind of expectation, though, it requires the right tool. So the supply chain managers should always use some appropriate software tool, okay, in order to analyze all those items which is related to managing the customer expectation. The second important challenges that any supply chain manager would face is managing the suppliers. Okay, so how they are efficiently managing their supplier is the other another important issue. So along with managing customer, the first one is managing customer expectation. The second one important problem is managing the supplier. They should have a very good relationship with their suppliers. So having a good relationship with their suppliers is a key factor to manage their supply chain effectively. So in an ideal world, all the supply chain managers would proactively engage with suppliers, okay, through the process called as supplier relationship management. Just like we have a customer relationship management, if you want to, as a as a manager, as a supply chain manager, if you want to maintain a cordial relationship with the supplier, then you have to proactively engage with supplier through this supplier relationship management. So it's up to you to know how many suppliers are needed, how to handle delays, and how to receive order. And each this step requires a clear thinking and a unique process. Okay, so it all requires a clear thinking and special process that slots in with your business overall spend culture. So on top of these duties, as a supply chain manager, you are also responsible for finding the right suppliers with the consistent and reliable service. Okay, there should not be any consistency in their service. Okay, and they should, so it is this supply chain manager's responsibility to find out the right supplier with the consistent and reliable service, and at a price that does not make any harm to your bottom line. Okay, the third important challenge that any supplier would face is maintaining quality and sustainability. So one of the challenges of global chain is the concern about the quality and sustainability of the product that are made in other countries. This is particularly true when components of product need to meet regular standard. So quality is a very important factor in maintaining the company's reputation, and it also ensures that materials you receive should meet the specification requested and that they are fit for that purpose. So in addition to that, as a supply chain manager, you also need to ensure the ethical sourcing. Okay, whenever you are sourcing your raw materials, you should you should always you should have to ensure whether ethical sourcing is happening and do your part to reduce your impact on the environment. Okay, and the fourth important issue is access to data. Fourth important issue is access to data. So in a modern day supply chain functionality, access to supply chain data is one of the most important requirement. Okay, because everything we are doing through data analytics method. So accessing the proper supply chain data is one of the important requirement. So this kind of access of supply chain data will be highly helpful for the managers to supply chain to manage the supply chain more efficiently. Okay, so some common metrics. There are some metrics. Each function have some metrics in analytics. So similarly, if you want to find out the efficiency of the supply chain, or if you want to find out the success rate of supply chain, we have certain metrics. Okay, the first metric is cycle time. Okay, what do you mean by this? Request to approval, approval to purchase order, invoice to invoice payment. These are all cycle time. Then consolidation of items or vendor. This is a common area for identifying the cost saving and reducing the number of suppliers to manage. The third one is on time delivering report. Okay, so knowing which orders are outstanding both from a finance perspective and a supply delivery manager perspective. And the next one is budgetary control. Okay, ensuring spending occurs with the budgeted amount. So these are all some of the things which is related with metrics. Okay, common metrics in supply chain. The last challenge is risk mitigation. So mitigating the risk can be challenging for any supply chain manager. Okay, so while the risk is a broad topic, there are some common supply chain risks. So what are those? The first one is reliance on supply for most of the purchases. So companies that are too reliant on one supplier, if we keep on depending on only one supplier, then that will it like there may something may happen, or he cannot keep on relying the same supplier. So he has to diversify his supplier. He has to have a lot of suppliers. Then the second one is failure to prepare for force major event. So this become very real when COVID-19 started affecting the delivery of goods and services uh, globally. So you have to always prepare yourself. Okay, you should have many plans. Okay, so tracking supply data on spreadsheet or outdated technology, that is the next one. So losing your supply chain data due to corrupt servers or damaged computer will be disastrous for your ongoing operations. With this, I'm ending the session. Thank you.